Mushy Mushy, this is Mr. Sindel here.
What up, guys?
Yeah, what up, guys? My YouTube intro. That's very cool. Alright, so we're going to go here and we're going to fit width here. Oh, that's why it's not working. Fit width. We are on Friday, October 11th, 10/11/2019. We are on R-4. Please stop talking, Chris. R-4 Unit Circle Basics. Our warm-up was going to Quizlet and just learning where these radians were. So, if you are watching this video and you have not done that, go do that. The link right here is bit.ly/learn radian location with capital L, R, and L. If you go and do that, you need to have that memorized tonight. Go and hit the learn category to learn them. You can use this as reference. The XP bonus, the game that we're playing tonight, is if you are the top 3 in the match activity, and I can come over here and show you. Let's go to Google Classroom. If I go to the match activity, the top 3 people, the lowest times, will get tons and tons of XP in ClassGraph. So if I come over here to the match play, this activity right here, this is what will give you your XP. Matching, oh yeah, this is 3 pi over 4. Where is that? 3 pi over 4 down here. Matching this activity, that's what I want you guys to do tonight. So, who can read our objective? Chris.
I have
two questions. Okay.
Alright. Identify the trig function that will give an x and y coordinate of a point on a unit circle to convert between radian and degree. You didn't use a comma. I had to read so much right there.
It's just an and. You don't need a comma if you have an and. If I had 3 things, I'd need commas.
Okay. 2 questions.
2 questions.
First of all, this thing's not loading. I think the Wi-Fi's whack.
Go ahead and double hit home. Slide it up so it restarts, and then restart it.
What is that? Yeah.
Okay, next question, Chris.
Okay, next question. Like my thing.
I do. It looks really nice.
You see how I made
I think it's going to do really well. You might be the second person that passes.
See how I made little question here? Yeah, it's gonna pass.
Wait, Church, what happens if it falls sideways?
No, it's not gonna fall sideways, because if it falls sideways, I'm gonna put straws in it on this side.
Anyway, coming back here. Know that these are the radians. The main thing to know from radians is that pi is half of the circle. That means pi and 180 degrees are the same measure. If I say pi divided by 2, half of half, because pi is already half of the circle, is a quarter of the way around the circle. Pi over 3 is a third of the way to half. So pi over 3 is a third of the way to half. 2 pi over 3 is 2/3 of the way to the half. Just know your radians. You have to have those guys memorized.
How do I log in here?
If you hit Google, I might have to log in for you.
Yeah, I'm not gonna log in.
All right. Cosine of theta. If I do cosine of my angle, maybe that theta is radians, maybe it's degrees. Cosine of theta will give the what coordinate? Quiet raised hand.
What?
Cosine gives me the what coordinate?
Cosine.
Quiet raised hand. Cosine gives you the Teflon?
Why did it look
It does give you the x coordinate. And Chris, are you logged in yet? Oh my gosh. All right, and then sine gives the what coordinate, Gio?
Y.
The y coordinate. Mr. Brown and I have been drilling this into you guys. Close. Drilling into you guys that x is the cosine, y, sine. We know that. All right, so what is the value of the x coordinate of A? There's A. It makes a 45-degree angle.
Sine of 45.
It is not sine of 45. Good guess.
45.
The x coordinate should be cosine. So cross off the signs. Which cosine is it?
45.
It is not 45.
135.
Because your angle always... No, your angle always starts from over here. This angle right here is what it wants. What is this angle? You always start from over here.
135.
It is 135. The correct answer is D, 135. So these are the types of problems you're going to be doing tonight where it's in degrees and radians. Know those. You also need to know how to convert from radians to degrees and from degrees to radians. So let's go degrees to radians. How do I convert 2 radians? What do I multiply by? Multiply by...
Square 2. Square times 3 by 4.
You're doing special right triangles. I just want to convert from degrees to radians. So notice that 180 degrees and pi are the same number.
So pi 180.
Pi is on the
180.
pi is on the top.
Pi over 180.
180 degrees. There it is.
I said like 6 times. Why'd you say yes?
Was there someone that raised their hand? I didn't see any quiet raised hands at Colin.
You didn't raise your hand.
Should I take off HP? No, I'm not. Okay. Multiply by pi over 180 degrees. So this is how I do that. I multiply this by pi over 180 degrees. The degrees, this little circle on the top right, cancels off. Chunk, 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 chunk. Then I need to simplify. Usually, you can always divide either, and I'll write this in the notes, in order to simplify fast, divide by 45 or divide by 30. One of these two will almost always work if they gave you a nice special right triangle. If not, the default is divide by 15. 15 will 100% always work on Khan Academy. 45 and 30 are the ones that we're going to be using for our class over and over again. So divide by 15 is the one that will always work. So let's divide the top and bottom because we now have the fraction. We now have 135 with no degrees pi over 180. I need to reduce this. I'm going to divide the top and bottom by 15. What's 135 divided by 15? Go.
Wait.
Hey Siri.
180. Give me 1 second. 5, 4, 3, 2, 5. 1.
25.
Wait, why don't we just do it by 30?
30 doesn't go into 135.
Oh, you're right.
45 does go into 135. Should I show you how?
No, wait, 90, 180.
9.
That's 3, right?
3. And how many times does 45 go into 180?
4.
So this is 3 pi over 4. How do I convert? Good job. How do I convert from radians to degrees? What do I multiply by?
180.
180 degrees over
Pi.
pi radians. There it is. So if I want to convert 4 pi over 3 to degrees, I multiply by 180 degrees over pi. Notice that the pi's cancel out. Shoink, shoink, gone. And I'm left with a unit of degrees. So that's why I've done it correctly. So now I need to figure out what is 4 times 180. Well, 180, think of that as, do that 4 times. And I fall over because I'm dizzy. How many degrees have I turned?
4 times.
I've done 360 twice, right?
6, 7, 20.
720. There it is. 720
Mocking me, Christopher?
divided by 3. And what's 72 divided by 3?
72, wait, 3.
Here, I'll show you a different way, an easier way.
Wait, where you got 72 from? Because you divide 180 by 4.
720 divided by 3. I was just looking at these numbers right here.
Wait, how did you get 720?
Because 360 twice.
I don't even know what you're...
Okay,
Here,
wait,
can I simplify this for you guys?
No,
Yes,
no, 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 no. Just do it ourselves.
Go.
Simplifying.
No, wait. Stop.
Instead of multiplying by 4 first, let's divide by 3 first. What's 180 divided by 3?
I already multiplied by 4.
Okay, fine, we're staying with 4.
180.
720 divided by 3. What's 72 divided by 3?
That I don't know.
100, 360, right?
24.
What? 360.
So, a good way to remember. So, I noticed that 60, 3 times what is 60?
3 times what? 16?
Yeah.
20. 10? 20.
20. And I'm trying to add up these two numbers to add up to 72. So, I need another 12, right? 3 times what is 12?
62. 4, dude.
These two add up to 72, so these two must add up to what I have to multiply by.
24.
24. That's how Mr. Sindel thinks. So this is now equal to 240 degrees. Another way that you could have done this, an easier way, is first divide by 3. What is 180 divided by 3? 60. And then 60 times 4 is
240.
240.
I'm confused. I don't know.
Gio, don't laugh like that.
All right. They give you kind of a weird angle here. Go and convert this one now. Write it out. 23 pi radians over 20. I'm going to multiply that by what?
Pi over, or 180 over pi.
180 degrees divided by pi.
You cancel out the pies.
Good job, Chris. Cancel out the pies. Let's just go free for all. Yell them out.
You multiply 23 by 180.
Let's go ahead and divide these, right? What's 180 divided by 20?
9.
9.
9. So this is going to be equal to 23 times 9 degrees. And I just have to do 23 times 9, which is kind of a hard problem, but you guys can do it. In your head, 3 times 9 is 3 times 9.
200 and
3 times 9.
27.
27. Carry the 2. I'll keep the 7 for you. Write out the 7. I'll carry the 2 for you. Now do 9 times 2. Add on the 2.
178.
18 plus 2.
21.
This is how you do math in your head, folks. This is equal to 207 degrees. You are not, I repeat, you are not allowed to use calculators for these.
What?
Because you're not going to have a calculator for the general most part of the AP test. Half of the test you'll have it, but half the test, these types of problems, you will not have the calculator on the AP test. Which means I'm training you for the AP test by not having a calculator. Do these in your head.
I'm already in pre-calculus. I shouldn't even be in
Pre-calculus is getting you ready for calculus. Pre-calculus, before calculus.
Calculus above the AP calculus.
We're not doing any AP calculus. I'm just getting you ready for calculus. I'm just having you convert radians and degrees. You learn this in like geometry. I'm just reviewing stuff. All right, so you have the choice right now of learning your radians, which is more important, or doing the homework.
What's the homework?
The homework you can get done really, really, really fast. It takes like maybe 10 minutes.
Mr. Smith, you know that